Hey everybody, welcome to Board Game Giants, the vintage version. I'm Norm, your host, and today we're going to be talking to Jeffery Scarborough. We like to talk to vintage board game collectors on here, and here is Jeffrey. Hey Jeffrey, how are you doing tonight?
Hello.
Good to see you.
Good.
Well, you had just told me this, but I'll go ahead and ask you for the viewers. How many games have you got in your collection?
Like I said, probably over 1,000 games.
Over 1,000 games. That's more than double what I have. Hey, feel free to pan around just real quick just to show everybody, and we'll go into more detail. But look at all these, just crazy.
I probably have the most unorganized, organized, and junked room of any of your collectors so far, too. By the way.
Oh, when you have 850 games, man, that's understandable. Well,
I just try to put where I can find a space to put them, pretty much. And some of these board games might have another board game inside of them.
Yeah.
Just to save space.
Well, I'll go ahead and ask you, when did you start collecting?
Oh, I probably started collecting in elementary school. This is like what you see now is probably like the second or third time I've had to downsize because we've had to move.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I've had to move, I had to like get rid of about half my collection. And then it got back up to what it is now, and probably more than I had the last time. But yeah.
Wow.
So I would say I've been collecting basically my whole life.
Well, that's super impressive, man. Who do you usually play games with? I'm imagining family, but do you like have game nights and things like that?
I have some friends that I play games with sometimes when we can get around to it. I've played solo when I can't find anybody else to play with. I've played with my mom and dad, and used to play with my brother when we were kids, and I would play with my sister a little bit, but she's not really into games, so don't get to play with her much. And when I go to the Comic-Cons, I might start bringing some to them, but I play the games they have there and play with the people there. But mostly I don't really have that many people to play with because I can't find anybody to play games with me. So I have to play them by myself, all the players. It kind of sucks.
Yeah, usually it's me and my wife. You know, I mean, it's maybe one day we'll get a game group going over here, but a lot of people deal with that, I know. So I know you have a lot of the older games. What are a couple of your favorites, or what do you like about the older games in general?
Well, it's history, really. I mean, if you think about it, it's history, and I'm not very computer savvy type person, so I like the older games because they have great art, they have great components, they have unique things, and all in all, it's really just history in the making, really. I mean, I kind of feel that keeping these games are like keeping a record of history, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because history was my favorite subject, and I just like the fact that they made stuff and that it's a tribute to the past.
Yeah.
The games are. They didn't have all the technology we have now, and all they could do was play these games after, I guess, a hard day of work. They didn't get on the phone. They didn't. They gathered around with friends and family, and they played games.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we don't have like the fancy phones, or back then they did it, obviously, but they did a lot of experimentation back then, like with games like Dark Tower, and you know, they would come up with all these everything that they had available to them to make a game. I always found that really fascinating, like record players and things like that.
I believe I have Dark Tower somewhere around here.
Well, do you have a favorite, or what? Do you have a favorite game that you like?
My favorites would be games where you conquer stuff. Like I like Risk.
Oh yeah,
I have a bunch of different versions of Risk. Um, uh, I have a bunch of different versions of Risk. I probably have almost every version of Risk that's come out. My other favorite is most people don't like money games, but I'm a Monopoly fan
yeah,
myself. Those are the first two. Those are the first two games I really got. I'm also a big fan of Life. So I
yeah,
like Monopoly, Life, and Risk are my main ones, and I have multiple copies of all three of those.
yeah,
If y'all, you can probably see some of them on the
yeah. I can see some.
yeah.
Let me ask one more thing. I know you have a board game channel.
Also like Clue. Clue's a pretty good game, but yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. We have Clue too. We haven't played it very much, but we do have it. Wow. What about your channel? Would you like to tell us a little bit about it? I know you do toy reviews and game
I
reviews.
call it Jeffery Scarborough's Board Game Geek and Geek Things. And what I do is I pretty much do whatever I want to on it. And for the most part, I've done like raves, rants. I would do mostly, I'm not really a tutorial type guy. I mostly just show you what's in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I open toys up that I find at thrift stores and when I go to the toy shows or whatever, and when I go to like Walmart and Bargain Hunt and places like that. So I pretty much, you never know what I'm going to do.
Oh, okay. Your screen froze, Jeffrey.
I just randomly do stuff.
Dude, I'm looking. Your screen froze. Do you see me?
Yeah, I see you.
Okay. Do you want to come back in? Or your screen just froze. You can just. I can edit this later. But if you click on the Leave Studio, you can come back in, and we'll see if we can get you unfroze.
Okay.
Hey, Jeffrey, welcome back.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, cool. Well, would you like to go ahead and start showing us your massive collection? You can just take your camera and just kind of, pan up, down, or whatever. All right.
Well, they're all over the place.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of everything. I have fantasy games, television type games, conquering war type games. I have pieces stacked in these little metal tins. I have games, new games, old games, a little bit of every type of genre you could probably think of. I have some old Avalon and Hill games down here.
Wow. Do you have Star Wars Gambit by chance?
The Queen's Gambit, no, I do not have the Queen's Gambit, but I got to play it at a Comic-Con one time, and it was really good. It was a fun game. I did that before I started really doing my channel, but if I ever get to play it again, I will film myself playing it next time.
Yeah, that's a game I would like to try out.
Star Wars Jedi Unleashed and a bunch of other Star Wars games. Like I have Life here, Epic Duels, and there's some other Star Wars games inside these Star Wars games boxes.
Oh, gosh.
Just to save space, I have to put games inside of other game boxes.
Yeah, there's a guy named Fur from South Korea that does that. He has games inside of games too because he's got like a ton of
Yeah,
them.
yeah. I have this real old Dungeons and Dragons computer labyrinth game. It's like one of the first
Where's that
computer
one?
games they made.
Where's that one at? Oh, okay. Wow. Okay.
Um, let's see, and it works too. That's what's great about. It's really great when you find games that work.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
let's see.
Wow, that is humongous.
I got a bunch of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games, just like Vincent
Oh,
has.
yeah. Where do you have them all bought together?
Yeah. I don't think I have them all together. Uh, I do have that one here, and I think I had them a few of them over here, and I think I put some of them together in the same boxes. So that's
No.
kind
That is just ridiculously impressive.
of
Wow.
um and I don't think I've paid over $50 for a single game. Most of the time, I pay anywhere from around $1 to $5, and I think the cheapest I've ever paid for a set of games for a single game was I went to a yard sale one time and they had a bunch of games and
Yeah.
they gave me like 20 or more games for like $5. So it was like probably a quarter or less was the cheapest I've ever paid for a game.
Wow.
And I think the oldest game I have, which I've been looking to find because I don't know what happened to it, but the oldest game I have is like it's over 100 years old. It's called Parent and Traveler.
Oh, I've heard of that game. I've never played it, but I have heard of it.
I mean, I have it somewhere. I just don't know where it went off to. That's the bad part. It might be up in the attic. Who knows? Yeah, because I have a few. I have like a lot of my toys up in the attic, and I have some other stuff up in the attic. So yeah. But my favorite games, like I said earlier, were Risk and Monopoly,
Yeah.
which I have multiple copies of those. And I had a, I have a tote. One of these totes is these are totes of some toys for toy show when I go. But I think I have a tote. It's either down here in one of these totes, or it's up in the attic, and it's nothing but Monopoly boards because
Wow.
I couldn't keep them in the boxes anymore. I had to eliminate the boxes and put the boards and the pieces in somewhere else just so I could save spaces because I
That's
had you
really well. Hey, I can ask this. What's the game that's worth the most amount of money? Do you know where that would be at?
the worth the most amount of money. I'm not sure. Um, I have some pretty expensive games and I don't really price them. But I have found some that have been worth into hundreds of dollars, and I've only paid like I said $5 or something for them. And then I found others. So I'm not sure what the most expensive game is because I don't really go around pricing games to see how much they go for. But I would say some of my games are probably worth hundreds to 200s or maybe $300 on the eBay or whatever that people shop on. Me,
Yeah.
I don't use that stuff, so I don't really know. I mean, I have checked games prices occasionally just to see if it was worth paying that much for a game, you know. But
Mhm.
other than that, I don't really check.
Understood.
But,
So,
but you have Dark Tower somewhere and all this stuff, and I heard y'all said it was going up for a pretty good amount.
I looked it up after Luke said that, and I saw one guy, he was trying to sell his for like 400 something dollars. You know, I mean, it's gone up for sure. Now, what's
I
your
mean, these are probably worth a pretty good amount. I got Dragon Strike here, Hero Quest, and Dungeons and Dragons here. I bet all three of these are worth a pretty good amount of money on the.
I know Hero Quest that can go for a couple.
Lionheart's probably worth some money.
It's worth a little.
Some of these are newer games, more modern games too, so they might be worth more too. So I'm not sure.
What have you got planned for your channel next? You got any idea?
Well, I just recently picked up the Battleship Live and the Circuits and Bacon game here, so I'll probably do unboxing for those. And I got a few other things inside the house that I got from thrift stores or something, so I'll probably be doing more of those. And basically, that's about it. But I'll always find something to do, and if there's something you see out here that caught your eye and you were like, when you go through your editing or whatever, and you go, I would like to see that, just let me know, and I'll try to find it.
There's definitely somebody who's interested in it.
Because, I mean, if anybody asks on my channel if I have something, and I'll be glad to show them, because I don't mind.
All right. Well, everybody, check out Jeffrey's page. I'm going to post the link underneath the video over here. And if you are a vintage board game collector and would like to talk with me on the show, just click on the leave a comment, and we'll try to get you hooked up. So, guys, this is Jeffrey. Jeffrey, I want to thank you so much for being on the show with me and taking the time. I hope you have a really good night, man. Thanks again.
Thank you, too. You have a good night, too. Later.
Thanks. We'll see you.
Bye. God is good all the time. All the time, God's good. Jesus loves you. Keep on.